Greetings and welcome to a Monday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is January 12th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I'm doing all right.
You got to say, what do you have to say? Anything?
You know, I want to be really respectful to the Packers fans. I've seen there's a lot of discourse where the Bears fans are being, they're being unkind and, I just want to make sure that I'm respectful, that I would hate for any of the Packers fans to feel offended by me,
the gentleman Packers fans to feel offended. All right.
You would think that, with back-to-back generational quarterbacks and for the 40 years of my existence, really we'll call it the 35 years of my consciousness, the Bears have been getting their ass kicked by the Packers. And finally, we can put up a fight. We have, people would say this is a big hot topic. Which quarterback's better? I think if everybody was honest with themselves, if they were starting a franchise, we know which one they'd pick. Yeah, everybody would pick. And now that we're competitive, they are all. Ben Johnson didn't shake his hand. He shouldn't have said F the Packers. Austin Booker is just the dirtiest player in the world because he just tried to tackle a quarterback.
They want to fire their own
coach.
The
cheese grater hats are disrespectful.
Nobody said that.
Yes,
they're disrespecting Cheese. We can't worry about Cheese's feelings in this situation.
But I gotta say,
Reddit.
I've been on cloud nine.
As good as it gets. For now.
There's been a lot of pent-up demons for the Packers. I texted our group as soon as they scored the touchdown to go ahead. They left too much time.
Too much time. That's the way you got to think.
I guess the nice thing is I know that they don't have Aaron Rodgers on the other side of the field anymore, because if we left Aaron Rodgers 121, it would have been game over.
You on Friday said this it's like the best possible win and the worst possible win. I think that was underselling the actual way it played out. Kind of like the Masters almost this year. We're like, oh my God, we get Rory Bryson in the final group, and this is gonna be the greatest day ever, no matter what. And somehow whatever happened the next 5 hours, that was that game. It was 21-3. This sucks. This is the worst. And I mean, it's almost better. It's obviously better to do it that way than just to go up by 21-3 and hang on for dear life and try to win from way ahead. It looks so fun just as an innocent bystander, impartial. It's like the most fun atmosphere. Saturday night, everybody's probably pretty worked up, tuned up. It just looked very, very fun. The Packers are a great franchise and all that, proud stuff. This, that.
They're a fine franchise.
Yeah.
They only got one championship in this run, which is the most hilarious thing. And the only reason they got the one championship was because Jay Cutler got hurt.
I have found, I don't know. I mean, they might quibble with that, but I guess I have found that these franchises, I'm seeing a little bit with the Ravens. KVV's pointed this out to me. They really struggle with any amount of hardship at this point. They're not born in the mud like the Bears fans or the Browns fans they are born in the mud. And to see them want to fire their coach and they're all worked up, getting mad at cheese grating hats is I don't think they're not cut out for this life.
I think that my favorite part of this whole season is that the Packers melted down 3 times against us, 3 games in a row, and they got so lucky that Caleb Williams underthrew the one pass. They could have had 3 utter meltdowns, because that's what all of this was. This was just a sheer meltdown, and obviously we applied pressure. But God,
I went to my daughter's lacrosse game, and I didn't know there were two dads who were like diehard Packers fans. I didn't know they were talking about how it was honestly like the worst night of their lives. Could you believe that? Just so mad at the coach. I was like just sitting behind them, smirking, smiling, waiting to hear from you when we got to our recording. I think people are very excited. It's got to be up there. How are you feeling? I gotta say, it's pretty open. Feels open.
It's wide open.
I know it's heavier at the top on the NFC side, but still, it's kind of open.
All you want to say is you have a chance. Our defense is bad. I think everybody saw that. It's not good. So
did LaFleur just give it to him in the second half? PJ jump in as well. Like what?
Yeah,
if the defense is bad,
Packers owner PJ Clark.
What?
I hope I'm going to vote my shares this year. I've never voted my shares. It's 2010, I think was the sale. It's 2026. I'm going to vote my shares this year. I'm going to make sure Mr. Policy knows how the ownership is feeling after that collapse.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling that Jordan Love was the best quarterback on the field last night.
Oh, come on.
I mean,
highest QBR. What
that's what I'm feeling.
I mean,
the
data
argument,
point PJ, data point PJ with the EPA.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, that was an unbelievable game from Jordan Love. That was wasted in a long line of wasted, unbelievable games for Packers quarterbacks in playoffs. That's up there. I mean, you told me he throws for 320 yards and 4 touchdowns. I don't think there's a shot the Packers lose that game.
When they kept missing extra points and field goals, you kind of just knew that those points might be a problem, might be a thing.
Obviously. This is things that franchises go through. Brendan and I both had Cody Parkey kicking for us in this within the last 10 years.
Man, I'm happy for you. And the wins in your life, where is that?
It's pretty high up there. I would have loved to bet in Chicago.
Sure.
I was watching it with my 5-year-old daughter. So like not necessarily the atmosphere you draw up. I was yelling and she gets scared every time I yelled. So not the atmosphere, but unforgettable.
Sports are the best.
Yeah. Peach, all I'm going to say about Jordan Love is if you inserted Malik Willis in the second half, the game is over.
It's just not true. They couldn't run the ball, period, in the second half. Having Malik Willis, who was still hurt, was not going to do anything.
I think a hobbled Malik Willis would have had a better chance.
Now you're just lashing out.
I got a little stat for the data boy. PJ. His EPA, his BPOP, his EDOT, all of his little stats.
It was just an unconscious football game for 85% of the game.
What have you say about Jordan Love going 2 for 10 for 9 yards when pressured?
I would say that 2 of those incompletions were drops on the final drive of the game, including one at the 20-yard line that would have given them a timeout and 40 seconds left. And Christian Watson did not even try to catch a touchdown out of fear for his life. That's a trade-off that he made. But if you go watch the end zone view of that clip, it was there. The ball was there. And he did not want to go to the hospital, which is, that's a decision. But the ball was there.
Maybe it wasn't a good throw.
He did not.
No, it was a good throw. It's exactly where the throw needed to be. I think if you're listing what lost that game for the Packers, Jordan Love would be the 54th reason. Everybody else on the 53-man roster and then coaching would probably be first, actually, I would say. So,
what kind of coaching? Play call?
It's the timeout. The clock management was abhorrent, absolutely terrible. Just calling a timeout after an 8-yard gain to give you a first down on like the 45-yard line. Like, what are you? timeouts are more valuable than 5 yards. Timeouts are more valuable than anything. The not having a play coming out of the timeout to take a delay of game was also terrible.
That was amazing.
Like, how do you just not? You literally call the timeout to prevent that from happening, and then you were not prepared for whatever look they gave you. I think it was just, and honestly, the biggest thing is they ran the ball for no success, too much, took the game out of your best player's hands in the third quarter. And then when they needed to go back to running the ball, even with no success, just to drain the clock and the Bears timeouts, they decided to take 2 shots at the end zone to a backup tight end and their 4th wide receiver for reasons that will remain unclear.
That seems to be the choice of the quarterback who throws the ball.
Well, he's not calling the play.
Well, there's a lot of options on the play. I can tell you, you never have to go max protect against the Bears. So there's a lot of receivers running around.
I didn't actually hate the throw to Musgrave on second down. If he came back to that ball, it would have been a pass interference, but he did not make really an effort to come back to it. But did not need 2 end zone shots from the 40-yard line when you should have been running the ball.
All I'm going to say, last parting thoughts, and, I'm going to tie this to golf for everybody. When there is a player that is going to drive down the field and score a touchdown against you. I lived this life with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers would kill us. Yeah. If you left him any time on the clock, he drove the ball down and he scored a touchdown. This season, Caleb Williams has proven that if you give him time, he's going to drive the ball down the field and score a touchdown. In golf, if a guy like Scotty Scheffler is around on the leaderboard, people act differently. People make stupid mistakes. People do things that they normally wouldn't do because in the back of their head, they're thinking about the boogeyman. And he's not the boogeyman. He's the Iceman. But, this is it felt like for the Bears, a defining moment and an arrival on the stage of who's going to run the North for a while.
You can't put it in neutral. They just put it in neutral, and there's no sense in doing that. I mean,
they were trying to drain the clock.
Every team today has through every game at this point. Every team that has had the lead at the 2-minute warning has lost the game. You can't put it in neutral. Can't do it.
Can't put it in neutral on the golf course either.
The silhouette of like that, it looks like the Jumpman logo where he's throwing off of like no feet is pretty cool. Pretty cool, iconic like imagery matching up with other like it's really cool as someone who has no real rooting interest. I think I wanted the Bears though. I want the underdog this time around or the feel good story. Good luck.
The underdog. They were favored.
Whatever. You know what I mean?
The Packers were the favorite.
The Packers were favored. Yes, they were.
They're 2.5-point favorites.
Yes, they were. But I'm talking about, just historical trends for the beaten down franchise versus the living like kings. I don't know.
This Jets fan just, side with the Packers.
Right. You're torn up. Like it's not even your team.
Well, not torn up. I'm just happy Jordan played well. B, I'm preemptively rooting for my quarterback 15 years from now, Jordan Love. Because those are the rules of the Jets-Packers alliance, is that Jordan Love will be on the Jets 15 years from now, and we will have to go with that.
Oh, Peach, happy for you, Andy. Football Minute will continue into January. That's for sure.
Unhappy listeners, Peach, can you put up the graphic that was made?
Oh yeah, I have to get it.
One of our best listeners put together, sent this to me this morning, a graphic of PJ keeps his job probability chart.
I gotta be honest, I didn't know that was at risk. I just thought it was
your job status.
I mean, to be honest, if the Packers won, I would say that I did a good job of calling this in August when I told everybody to go bet the Packers. But here you go. Here's your chart.
It's
a good chart.
Listeners, PJ loses his job. PJ keeps his job set to the win probability, line going across. plunges down to the PJ keeps his job line at the end there as the Bears make their miraculous comeback. I'll tell you what.
That's caller Emmett from Houston, who put that together.
Okay, good. I will say, as just a fan of sports, that seems like a real red hot rivalry right now. I know it's technically a rivalry by historical reasons. That Ben Johnson does not seem to like LaFleur at all. And it's kind of fun as a sports fan to watch real hate or real rivalry.
I can't believe they're going to fire LaFleur.
I was going to say, I think he's going to have to find somebody else to hate very quickly, possibly by the time you listen to this episode.
I mean, that's insanity from our three franchises' perspective.
That is like a... Yeah.
He's undeniably one of the 10 best coaches in football.
I mean, there's always, you don't know who the next Freddie Kitchens is that can walk in. That you take what you have, burden the hand.
I had one of my friends is a Packers fan. He told me just promote Halfley, which as you've seen,
oh my God,
is definitely not the option.
Halfley's the one that got the Bears all riled up, saying that they were moving on. They wanted the Bears.
Halfley drove BC into the sewer. Now, I get that he's a pro coach, but God. All right, congrats. A victory Monday of all victory Mondays.
One.
Seriously, this might be the biggest victory for you, at least. Biggest victory Monday we've had since this show started. That's for
It's definitely the biggest victory Monday show we've had.
An Illinois basketball one. Did I see that against the
Cubs signed Bregman?
Oh, that's right. That was during the game. I got the notification for it. Yeah.
The Bulls won. The Blackhawks won Saturday night. The Cubs signed Bregman, and then Illinois comes at 9 a.m. Pacific, goes on the road and beats Iowa, who's top 20 team in the country,
and all in the same week. That Chicagoans got the great news that we will be coming for a live show. Just a bonanza of good news for Chicagoans all week.
And
February 12th, tickets on sale.
Other big news.
What's that?
Blocky signs with Malbon.
I mean, it was no way. This all happened in like a 5-6 hour window. It's not so much that he signed with Malbon, which of course that is part of the story. It's how they revealed it, as if this was like, Michael Jordan coming back to the Bulls. He steps out of the shadows. Are they just going for senior tour players now, Malbon? They've signed, I think their big off season's been Freddie Couples and Blocky, who I think is Champs Tour eligible. PJ, is he pushing Champs Tour eligibility?
He's pushing. I don't think it's this year, but he is, I want to say he's 49, turning 50 in June.
The hip young brand going for just Champs Tour players this offseason, Malbon. He goes right from good. I thought he was with good.
He was. So that was my first reaction was, what does this mean for the field at the good championship in Austin next fall? Because Michael Black will no longer be a sponsor invite, presumably.
I mean, that reveal video is one of the better pieces of content I've seen. We did a predictions newsletter like a week ago, and I said Don Rea will happen, Michael Block will happen. They are inevitable, and Blocky's already on the board with one full week into the year.
The reality of this signing is, in business, you have to, you always are, if you're not growing, you're dying, is what people say. And this is Malbon, who came up as this like trendy streetwear with Generation Zs, trying to appeal to a wider and wider net. And I don't even know who Blocky appeals to, I don't know what that demo is. It could be a lot. It's like a lot of people. I don't know what the exact demo it is, but that's why they're doing this. This is why any company that sponsors people are trying to is growth. But, maybe the older guys, as they're trying to get into people that can afford to buy more than one shirt a year, from them is part of their, demo is like, we'll go after the olds and maybe they'll buy more stuff.
I've always wondered, like, isn't this the Skechers story? Wasn't it like an edgy skateboard type deal brand, like an alt brand that suddenly became like grandpa shoes for old people, like safe stuff? Wasn't that their like sort of brand arc? I could be wrong. I don't know. Malbon. Fashion is cyclical. Everything's cyclical. Baggy comes back. I don't know. That's the way it is. Malbon's going to the olds now. That was startling. Between that and the Bears game, like boom, boom, right back to back. It was just like smiling probably for 6 straight. I guess we had the first half, but put a damper on your face. But it was just smiling for like 6 straight hours on Saturday afternoon and evening. All right, let's get into a little bit of golf. There wasn't a lot of golf. We had the Live Promotions event. Richard T. Lee, the Canadian. I don't think has there ever been a Canadian on Live. I think Live's been a Canada-free zone, if I'm not mistaken.
He will be the first Canadian.
What a distinction, you know.
Yeah.
When do we get Live Canada, the event?
Sure, we got to get up there so they can come out for Richard T. Lee, who's been around forever. I didn't even know he was Canadian.
Forever. I mean, this guy's like the Scottsdale version of Sonny Abacoa.
Just money games, minor league events, circuits.
I think he's been a mini tour player for like 25 years. I mean, he's got to be like 45, right?
Is this the same Richard T. Lee?
I think so.
Okay. Canadian, yeah. It says he's 35.
35. Okay. Maybe I'm thinking about another Richard.
I think you're thinking of a different Richard Lee.
I definitely am.
I think he's American or so he gets through.
This is the different Richard Lee. Dick T. Lee.
Bjorn Dick T. Lee. So bad. Bjorn Helgren also got through, so that may be a game changer for Liv now.
Game changer.
Scott O'Neill is going to be sleeping well now. He's got Bjorn Helgren riding in, and Anthony Kim, which is legit impressive. Good for Anthony Kim. This is a real qualifier. I wouldn't say it's the deepest field. It wasn't the biggest field, but it had players from
there
tours,
were legit players.
Yes, and he goes 69, 66, 69 to get the third full status next year on Live Golf. I assume as like wild card players.
Can you explain to me the wild card players? What purpose do they serve?
I don't. The whole thing is it's a team league, like the whole hook.
What are these wild card players and why do they exist? And if you're going to have them, why don't you have like 20 of them? And that could be your free agent pool for next year or something.
Just here to play spoiler. Just ruining the teams. Need a good spoiler.
I don't get it because that was the whole thing. We need teams.
And why are they called wild cards? I would assume if they were a wild card, like a team could draw them and pull them in. Wouldn't that be what a wild card is in every other facet?
Potentially. It's just a solo player, a man without a country, a man without a team playing on the leaderboard.
I will add, though, AK also, as of this week, a Malbon athlete.
Oh, really?
Yes.
All right. Well, there you go. Maybe we'll
get some blocky AK collab content.
This is unbelievable. Yeah, they're probably going to push up again. I mean, they got to do the shotgun start. So I don't know. You can't just start adding 50 wild cards, right?
That's right. They can't get rid of the shotgun start.
So you got to watch how many wild cards.
If they get rid of the shotgun start and they go to 72 holes.
We're pushing forward. We're we're innovating, I think is what they called it when they went to 72 holes.
But they should have like 30 wild cards. Why not just scoop up a bunch of good young players, put them in there, and see who pops?
I mean, wouldn't it be like Bjorn Helgren? Isn't it just guys?
I think that you could probably get a legitimate if you said to the number 11 guy on PGA Tour hey, like this is you can come play for a chance to win $4 million every week, or you could go down to the PGA Americas.
Yeah,
I think you'd get a decent amount of guys.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times the guys that are 11th on PGA Tour end up being, bona fide great players, i.e. Michael Brennan.
That's fair.
They could have had Michael Brennan probably.
Pick off a few. Yeah, it's an interesting proposition. I don't know. We'll see. We're gonna do some predictions. I'm not sure how much. What if Roll-Up just says, "The hell with it. We're getting together. Your league's done. Figures it out." Seems like we're not close to that, but I think Roll-Up, to use the term, could be a total wild card, and however this stuff goes forward. That's your one result. We also have KFT stuff starting. Just immediately out of the gate, 62s everywhere. KFT is back, baby. That's all. Just birdie bonanza, 10 under. John Marshall Butler, and Justin Suh. Immediate 62s.
Butler Trio. Isn't there a band called John Butler Trio? Maybe.
I don't know. It sounds like some hipster thing.
Yeah, there's a John Butler Trio.
Granola country.
It's an Australian rock band.
Oh, good. Good for you. I love that. Looks like the 49ers are going to win. Looks like they're going to win 23-19 as it stands. They're hugging on the sideline.
I was out and about today in the Bay, and I thought it wasn't that lively, and I realized that all the 49er fans are distracted at the start of the TGL season. They've all been rooting for the Bay.
Bay Golf Club, Wyndham Clark, getting behind Wyndham Clark.
Yeah.
So that's it. Those are your results. Early KFT and your Live Promotions event. Big news. Brooks Koepka, this broke Friday night, has applied for reinstatement. According to Mark Schlabach of ESPN, had it first.
Not to be confused with Mark Schlereth.
No. Steak.
Schlereth. Hog Molly.
Yeah.
We watched that Bears Broncos game together
in New York, probably 5 years ago. We're just laughing at Schlereth. Like this, how is this the highest league in the land? And we got this guy just shouting and grunting about hog mollies up front. Stink Schlereth.
Thank God he doesn't broadcast NFL games anymore.
He might. You know what I found kind of interesting, and I was thinking about this as the Sanderson goes away. R.I.P. Sanderson, gone. Fortinet, or whatever it's called, Safeway goes away in Napa. I was like watching today, CBS. I don't know why I'm going on this road, but Stink Schlereth makes me think of it. CBS, the NFL has found a way to they sent their top broadcast team. I know they didn't have the first pick all the games. To a game that featured Buffalo and Jacksonville. Those are two. Buffalo's a great brand at this point, but two of the smaller television markets when you talk about professional sports. And the NFL has found a way to make like San Francisco, Chicago, obviously like the New Yorks, these in Dallas, these massive, massive games. But if you go to a PGA Tour and you say, like, you got to go to Buffalo, the equivalent of markets, it's like this event can't survive. We're getting rid of Sanderson's. We're getting rid of, Fort Worth is falls off the map. It's interesting how the NFL is able to mix that just on the strength of brand. The Packers are obviously the ultimate example of that, a team in Green Bay. But I just thought that was interesting today because on paper, that wouldn't work for a lot of sports to have the number one team go to that kind of game. Because I'm not suggesting those franchises stink. Not trying to get Jags Twitter on my bad side, and the Bills are awesome, my Lake Erie brothers. But a small market, they blend that in really well. Yeah.
Well, that's where the team elements completely failed by Live. Yeah. Because teams then spark entire regions of rooting interest, right?
Right.
Know.
Right. Anyways, Brooksy does not talk to Stink Schlereth. He talks to Schlebaugh. Or no, he doesn't. Schlebaugh has the story, I should say.
Not Schlereth.
Schlebaugh. Has reapplied for membership. And this is in the story. The tour will start its reinstatement and disciplinary process, which will include, quote, thoughtful input from the board, including player directors. I love thoughtful input. I mean, who knows what that means? How much thought is being put into it? Is it hell no, he can't come back? Do they really care? Who has a voice? Tiger, could Brian Rolette be like, whatever Tiger says is what we do? Or do they just say, I don't care what you have to say, Pepe Peter or the equivalent, and they just move on? Joel Beal had some additional reporting in his story at Golf Digest and said multiple sources with knowledge of the situation have told Golf Digest that the decision will ultimately be made by new PGA Tour CEO Brian Rolette. He is expected to take guidance from his future competition committee helmed by Tiger Woods, along with the tour's policy board. I kind of love that. There's a guy coming in, has less personal scar tissue with this, animus with this, probably looks at it from a more 10,000 foot view, what makes sense, what's good for our tour, what had remove bygones, and some authoritarianism might be good in this case.
I think it should just be a strictly case by case basis.
Yeah, there are no rules.
There doesn't need to be rules with this. This is going to be such a small group of individuals that actually come back with status.
And that really, truly matter and deserve deliberation and have the status to do it. Yeah.
Right? There's 6 of them that have status if they come back. DJ is a lifetime member, right?
Phil would have a lifetime.
Phil's a lifetime member. Patrick Reed doesn't have status anymore. John Rahm would have status, I assume, from the Masters win.
Yeah, I think that's right. Brooksy, obviously, is set up. Yeah, there's not a lot.
Cam Smith maybe has it from the players. That's got to be like a 5-year exemption.
Yeah, they don't.
Can't have a gold standard winner just lose his card.
Languishing out there. They don't have to follow. Rory alluded to some legal stuff they wanted to avoid, make sure they don't make themselves legally, exposed in some way but I don't know. What are the rules here? Do they have to follow some specific rules? And Roll-Up just wants to decide it makes sense to go now. It was my impression, the early thought was he would have to sit a year. One thing I'll say, the NFL struggled. The NFL, one of the things they did poorly is where they got into being disciplined on a case-by-case basis, right? And that's one thing where Goodell, obviously, and Roll-Up was there for that. It wasn't his job, but going from Ray Rice, where they're being punished severely for things that they haven't technically been, arrested for, or they're found guilty of in the court of law. That's where it got really tricky. Deflategate, that kind of stuff, where they started to do the law and order thing, is where the NFL got themselves into trouble. But this does feel like a really subjective case by case process you could just have, and Roll-Up makes the call, comes across his desk. Seems does this give you an indication that Brooks will be back sooner than you thought?
I don't know. I saw everybody being yeah, Brooks is just back.
He's going to be at Amex.
That's not what it means. I think he's probably out for the year.
Yeah.
And that's just my general. There's going to be some people that think he should go to jail. Some players.
Can't wait for that.
That's going to be the best. I can't wait till he gets his sentence handed out and somebody's going to be like, you know what? He should never get to play again.
This is where we need Lucas Glover's radio show.
Is it back, do you think, for
I hope so, because where would we be on year review without it, genuinely?
The crazy thing would be is if Brooks is just back at some point this year, not next week. But all these guys still can't play the P Cup. And they're just well, Well, Brooks is good for the product. He's left live. We got to get him back in. But no, Joaquin, Cam Smith, all these people cannot play. Like the P Cup, in theory, it has been the most harmed by live golf as a product. I'm not suggesting it's the most, the biggest thing that's been hollowed out, but it took the biggest hits among the live defectors. So it would be wild that Brooks is like back playing in August, eligible for the American P Cup team, but then the P Cup, the team that really needs all the P Cup reinstatements. Maybe Roll-Up does that. Like, why are we keeping these guys out of the P Cup?
Yeah. A good thing. I mean, the international team, it looked like it might get really bad for them with Siwoo and maybe Sungjae going to that. That was a big save for the international team. That would have been rough.
I wonder if Tom Kim makes it again this year. Tom Kim, who knows?
Tom Kim might be just a guy that burned real bright, played his best golf at 18. We've seen this before.
Other news, Sony field notes don't have much. We were told VJ would not bump players, not bump graduates, bump.
Never taking a spot. These handouts never take spots.
He got in. He's ahead of Isaiah Salinda. He had Isaiah Salinda, who's like a guy on tour. He was ahead of him. Salinda has now gotten in as the first alternate. I believe David Lipsky is now the first one out. And VJ's up there just having a ball. We did get some inside information from friend Eddie, listener, said the tour, he's used this money exemption twice in 2022 and 23 and should not have this.
It's incredible.
I've reached out to someone at the tour to dig in. Apparently these things happen. There's clerical errors. Like last year, MJ DeFee was on the KFT, keeping PGA Tour not exempt after his major medical expired. They missed that. Cameron Percy was in one of the alternate events, the opposite field events that had zero status. So it does happen where there's clerical errors. I don't know if this is purely their VJ is using a rightful career money exemption and he didn't burn through the first two, or he has a third somehow. But he's playing the Sony this week. I know that much. And Isaiah Salinda was sweating bullets to get in.
62-year-old VJ Singh in a tournament ahead of Isaiah Salinda, who finished 103 in the FedEx Cup last year. I think
Speed's playing too, by the way.
It's so the opposite of Tommy Gainey. I never thought I'd say that. And VJ, the Tommy Gainey Corn Ferry Tour gesture, the Good Guy Jerry Award, maybe winner of the year.
Yeah, take
versus VJ, but VJ's not taking spots. It's important.
That's kind of insane. That's it. That's all I got. We already hit on the new fall schedule. 3 new events, 2 lost. But that's it. That's all I have for news.
What are you going to do without the Sanderson?
I mean, I think it's a shame. I think it's a shame that you get rid of the Sanderson as a proper community event. It's not nod to the history of the PGA Tour. But what would we do without another professional golf event on Sea Island? What would we do without that? What would we do without the Biltmore? The good deal in Austin. There's a Mexico swing. We're going to Vandana World and Worldwide Technologies back to back. That's just going to be. Think about those. Aren't those the 2 widest fairways on the tour? Essentially, it's just going to be guys coming out of their shoes for 2 straight weeks. El Cardinal, right, and then whatever is Vandana World back to back. That's your new fall.
We're missing one thing. The Joe Cup.
Oh, I had that. In my
That's
notes.
More results. More golf happened. William Sides from SMU. Billy Sides wins. Shoots 6 under. It was only a 36 hole. Miles Russell and Frankie Harris finished second. Tyler Weaver, Luke Poulter.
It's a great leaderboard. It should be. It's what you get. Where did Lamagna's loop finish? He
let's see.
T46. T46.
He's got to worry that he's going to get invited back out.
I did get news. He might have had wrong numbers, bad numbers, flipping through the yardage book, data boy, I'm just kidding, messing around. Let's do some 2026 predictions, but not first, not before a word first for Friday golf. International trip planning. I'm stumbling over my words. It's a Sunday night worse for the wear here. We hosted our first international golf trips for Friday Golf Club in 25. Now we've launched a trip planning service. Take the headache out of international golf adventure. Book tee times, lodging, transpo, whatever you need from the moment you get there to the moment you leave.
We had this available all last year to just Friday Golf Club members.
Yeah.
This year I want to say in like November, we launched this to, just anybody. I think that when I think about, international trips are awesome. They're incredible. One of the hard things about them is getting organized and being able to do it. You have to go basically, if you wanted to do it on your own, go facility by facility and set up your time. One of the great things about our service, we work with a guy named Peter. He's a good egg. He's
ball.
someone that I've played a lot of golf with. I talk about golf courses a lot. This is someone that will tell you this is a bad idea. This is a good idea. He also is a psycho. I mean, he's up at like 2 a.m. calling, golf clubs when their tee sheets open and getting the times. So he's awesome. He's a good friend of mine, been a good friend of mine for a long time. Since the very early days of the egg, and he does a phenomenal job with this. You want someone who is super organized, super detail oriented, and also, like, I think the most important part of this, you want somebody to tell you don't do this.
He's so decisive. He's very yes.
And like that's the best part is like he will say this is a bad idea. You should, and if you say, hey, which of these 3 courses should we go see of 6? He'll say, don't go see this. Don't go see this. This place is trash. This is a place you should see. That's what you want.
Yep.
All of these places, for the most part, and now I'm going to get myself in trouble.
Want the cut.
Just mark it up and send you to the places that are going to make the most money on.
Yeah.
You want to book with someone who will curate a great experience for you and lead you in the right direction. So that's my sales pitch. I think this is an incredible service. When I go on an international trip and I decide I'm going somewhere, I call Peter to be like, what do you think I should do?
thefriedegg.com/trip planning.
Important note. You got to have a group of 8 to do this. We don't do less than 8.
Okay. Currently booking spring 27 trips to Scotland, Ireland, and England. So Muirfield, RCD, Royal County Down, St. Andrews, the Open Return, Southwest Ireland on your bucket list. Start on 2027 trip now. Tee times are opening up for each of those locations within the next 4 to 8 weeks. So this is timely. 4 to 8 weeks for 2027 tee times to Muirfield, RCD, St. Andrews. Go to thefriedegg.com/trip planning. Trip-planning after the slash there. All right, let's get on to 2026 predictions. Eggman, you sent some props here. It's going to be a slow start to the year, I would say. We have no Kapalua, Sony. Euros are going to go play the Middle East. But we have, I would say, a pretty strong major. I don't know. I get it's a strongish major championship season. Yeah. I don't know. Birkdale is sort of TBD. Some people are not. That's not their cup of tea. But Shinnecock's an all-timer. And Arana makes a different kind of PGA in a major metropolitan area, which will be cool. What do you want to do? What's your prompt you want to go to first? 2026 major winners? You want to do that?
Let's warm up to that. We don't want,
Sure.
PJ, you got to get in here. I know you're probably still crying about Jordan Love and the Packers, but
I hate that you've put me in this spot. I really do. It's just unnecessary. You're making this a combative exercise. It wasn't. Didn't have to be like this. He played well. You could just admit it, but that's okay too.
He did play well.
Thank you. That's all I'm looking for.
He's an above average quarterback. Not a great quarterback. Not someone that's ever going to be elite. He's above average.
I'm just going to cut my losses and accept that.
What
He's
prop do you want to do first?
I mean, we're also like getting to fully realize this is what he is.
On.
29.
This is
Players generally, the only guy that's gotten better in his late 30s is the guy that was made the worst franchise ever. And just his talent was hidden, so everybody glommed onto Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, wasn't hidden. Again, this is like a real ball knowers take. Someday, maybe Jordan Love will get to that point. And you will see the error of your ways here.
For the Jets.
15 years from now.
That'd be great. That could be the whole way this plays out. Packers fire LaFleur, make a bad hire. Jordan Love then is the next to go. The Jets scoop him up after they have, the thing the Jets need to do is just sign Malik Willis.
That would be amazing. That's how that ended up. PJ is just staring off in the sky.
I wouldn't be opposed to that.
I bet not.
I think it's a decent idea. I think there are other teams that are going to be more willing to sign Malik Willis than the Jets, but that's okay.
This time last year, you're like, it's Justin Fields. I'm fine with that. Let's go get Justin Fields. It kind of feels like we're back in a similar spot. It's like
doesn't seem like Dante Moore.
I was going to say Dante throwing up all over himself was really not what anybody needed. I think. Still seems like he's going to come out though, so maybe I have to talk myself back in. Everybody's got a bad night. I still don't think he's terrible, but whatever.
All right, what's the 26 predictions, Andy? Which one do you want to go with first? Best major?
Let's start out with breakout player.
Okay.
Non-Jordan Love division.
So what does this mean?
I think there's a couple ways you could define this. I would say Xander Schauffele's 2024 was a breakout year. Was he already a top 10 player in the world? Yes, but that was a breakout year for me. He was a breakout player that year. I think obviously you could define Ben Griffin as a breakout player last year. That's in a different way. I think you can define this however you want.
Was that breakout player year for JJ Spawn? You think that qualifies?
Absolutely. So I think you could define it a few different ways. PJ, who do you have as a breakout player?
I was going in the more JJ Spawn, Ben Griffin tier. I had three names. Rico Hoey, obviously. Shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody.
We own all the Rico stuff.
We are on Rico Island right now. Akshay Bhatia and Pearson Coody.
I like the Pearson Coody.
You guys mocked me for our what was it, draft week. I took Pearson Coody, guys under 25 or whatever it was.
Yeah, he had a good
draft week. Okay, I like those. Like those picks. Andy, who do you have?
I along the same lines. I think Coody was third in birdies. One stat I always look at is birdie average.
Yeah.
My theory is can't teach birdies. Can't teach the ability to generate scoring opportunities.
Ball in the hole.
You can't coach away bogeys. That's the thing. So I always like to look at guys that generate a lot of scoring opportunities and think, okay, when they start to put together how to play golf, start to see courses more, start to get more experience. I like that. Player atop the birdie average last year, ahead of Scotty in birdies per round, Garrick Higgo.
Wow.
Now he won last year. That was you could say that's a breakout. I think there's still some more bites at the apple, more ways to go with Garrick Higgo. I mean, he's young,
Yeah.
And I mean, he's won twice on tour now. And I just think, he's 26. Like, we're starting to see, Lamagna brought this up a couple weeks ago on Friday. We're starting to see almost a return of like yesteryear where guys are playing their best golf from like 28 to 35.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think we are, there's going to be phenoms that come in and play really great at 21, but I think we're getting to the stage where like the game's kind of normalized a little around technology, and the youth aren't like super advantaged because of technology. And so I like Higo to play really well. Could be the star of the Peak Cup team.
Fair.
Would
South
be a big Africa. ad for the Peak
He's
Cup.
very volatile. Higo kind of comes and goes, and it like can't make a cut, and then all of a sudden he's in the top 10 every week for 2 months. But all right, I like that. That's a breakout possibility. I think Thorbjornsen, if early TGL signs are any indication, feels like a guy that's well suited. I know
and
that
fall. He was awesome in the fall.
I know he's younger. He's not following necessarily the 28 to 35-year-old mold, but he seems like a guy who's extremely well suited for the modern PGA Tour and has already demonstrated such as a breakout. I honestly put like in the Xander mold, feels like Fleetwood and Cam Young, like a different leap stratosphere. I do think that would qualify as a breakout, and they're obviously already very elite talents, top of the totem pole.
When I say Higo, I mean like this guy might be a top 30 player, you
Sure.
know? But I'm curious, like this year we had kind of out of nowhere Ben Griffin and JJ Spawn. I think Russell Henley like flew up the charts. This was like a ridiculous, last year was a ridiculous year for breakout players in that vein.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like if you had to pick one guy from, we'll call it, 40 to 100 to be that might be a top 10 player by the end of the year.
This is OWGR. You want to go or Data Golf? Either one.
That's where I was going with Akshay. I think he's close. Another guy who's still incredibly young, who should only just be getting out of college at this point, has been around the block a couple times now.
I did have RNP on my original list for breakout. Younger guy, obviously just won the Australian Open. Had a pretty strong year, both in majors and on both sides of the pond last year. He feels like a potential guy who could get to top 20-ish, somewhere in the 15 to 25 range. I had him on my original list too.
One of the other things I like to look at is like guys that just were seemingly around a lot, and maybe their finishes weren't representative of how well they played, where they had bad Sundays and that tumbled them down. One guy that just seemingly was in the mix a lot at tournaments, but did not, maybe capitalize on a ton, on a ton of them. Harry Hall.
Yeah.
He was just a name that was regularly in discussions of leaderboards last year.
The underlying metrics for him at times can be sort of alarming.
He can roll it.
He can putt, which rock. We know is it's not necessarily, that's a volatile state. That can be fickle. But the Lads Club, he was kept at the Lads Club, Harry Hall. But yeah, he's an option. All right, what else do we have for 20?
I'm surprised you guys didn't go Jordan Spieth.
Playing this week at Sony.
Is it a re-breakout? A re-apex for Jordan Spieth?
He's the needle.
Honestly, might be time to buy Spieth stock. I thought about putting them in my majors predictions.
What would to win?
Yeah, just throwing them in there.
I remember a lengthy conversation where I was told Jordan Spieth would never win a major again. A lengthy conversation.
Now you're giving away trade secrets from conversations, off-air conversations.
I'm just saying there were people vehemently saying yes and vehemently saying no.
I think Joseph and I are on the no side, if I remember correctly.
That would be correct.
What's a breakout? We've got our breakout list. What's our major predictions? You alluded to that. You debated.
We got a couple other questions here.
All right, throw them at us. What else do you got?
All right. What's going to be the best major next year?
I think we know. On paper at the start, I think Shinnecock is the most appealing.
Peach?
Burn it down. No water. Let it burn.
Long Island's redemption after the Ryder Cup.
It's a very different Long Island we're dealing with at Shinnecock than it was at Bethpage, but I do know that that'll come up. I'm quite sure.
Andy,
all
who's
the
pick?
press will be staying at Jake's 58, bitching about
We're
the
not.
shuttle ride there.
I'm not staying at Jake's 58.
I just hope our Airbnb doesn't cancel.
Let's not even bring
I don't
it
know
up.
what you're talking about.
Knock on wood. Let's not even bring it up.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that to
We got
happen.
a good thing. We're just laying and wait.
I'll just go. I'll go counter. I'll
You're
go
gonna
with
zag. I could
I'm
tell.
gonna zag, just to zag. I think I'm on the record and other times Shinnecock. I'm gonna go with the mink, and I'm gonna go with the mink because Don could be up there all by
Come
himself
on,
without a
stop it.
CEO.
Stop it.
The mink could be good.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's gonna be bad. I worry about the weather a little bit, but what can you do about that now?
Most likely first time major winner.
I think one thing real quick with the Shinnecock, it does feel like an examination for the USGA. Like, do they have any? Where are they right now? Yeah. It's the one, like, are they just going to be running scared? Joseph and I did a nice little flashback on that in a newsletter in, like, I want to say November, where it's like, was that the last true, like, ass-kicking major of all majors, where it's like all limits were pushed or thought of? I think we kind of remember it worse than it actually was because of the spectacle that Phil made it. So, I don't know. Has equipment progressed even more since 2018 to a point where, like, you can't do that? Or to do it, it does have to become farcical. I'm just curious, does USGA try to push the envelope there, or are they just not even in that business? But we haven't seen John Bodenhamer really get to that point, right? Remember Pinehurst? We should have Pinehurst and Wyndham Clark's like, well, these guys are just going to be shooting 86. The balls are going to be rolling off the green. That, you touch the ball, it rolls 35 feet. And, like, it was fine.
These guys, that's what they do pre-week.
I know.
They talk about how impossible it is. Oh, nobody's going to break par.
Not
It's like
puttable,
they hang a bunch of 64s on the floor.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Shinnecock. All right. What was the other one?
Forgot what tournament John Rahm was like, oh, there's no way anybody's going to break par. Oh, it's to me. I can't remember what that was, but then it was like, I think 10 under 1. Might have been LA. He was saying that.
Okay. All right. What's the next one?
Most likely first time major winner. Doesn't mean they're going to get it done.
Yeah.
Because I think in my major predictions, I do not have a first time winner. I definitely
Neither do I. I would put Tommy Fleetwood up there for this one. I do not have him picked, but I think he's most likely.
Let's just run down who would be the likely candidates, because who is the best player without a major right now is kind of an interesting topic. But you have Fleetwood, Russ Buss, Big Shot Bob. I'm not even going to put Ben Griffin in there. I don't, he could be an answer though. Ben Griffin, I'll put Ben Griffin in there. Harris English. The tank doesn't deserve mention based off this.
Does not belong in that conversation, unfortunately.
I think it's
Victor, Ludwig, Cam Young,
Tyrrell. Cam Young. Yeah.
Tyrrell's an interesting one there.
Yep. Joaquin.
Sam Slam and Sammy.
Gotta get Neiman. What? Yeah. What?
Got her up. That's where I'm going to draw the line.
The start of the year, I think it's probably I would put Fleetwood and Cam Young as the two players, most likely. Right now. Hovland obviously can get there real fast. We don't necessarily know. He's up and down a lot. But those would be the two guys. Fleetwood is my pick.
I would do Ludwig or Hovland. I will take Ludwig. Okay. For this. He's shown us 2 years in a row. He has everything you need for Augusta National. And he's in this phase where He hasn't reached the Ernie scar tissue level yet. He's got dreamy feels when he goes to Augusta National, and all the other championships rotate. And I think that's like a valid thing. Playing like you're so much more likely to win a major if you play Augusta really well because you go there every year and it's the only one you go to every year.
Yeah.
I know that's obvious, but that's why.
Yes. I mean, could be a Scotty thing, certainly Phil discovers, Fred Couple, there is like a horse familiarity for course there.
Corey Connors plays Augusta really well.
I got to him on the OWGR, and that's when I decided it was time to stop.
We're not doing this anymore. Okay, I like it. Peach, did you give an answer for that? Most likely.
I mean, I would take Cam against everybody. Big time players make big time plays in big time games.
The thing about Cam is his top 10 rate at majors is like better than he's an elite major player, and that's why I think that's a great pick.
I agree.
Tommy returns to the site where he shot one of the greatest rounds in history of golf at Shinnecock. It was before it got
before
toasted.
the nutty conditions. Yeah, it was the most like that's what. Suppose Tommy goes low when the stakes get lower. That's what was the rap on him at that time. Like, of course. Anyways,
all right, major winners. This might be a little more boring. It's hard. It's a hard era. It's a hard era right now to not be boring.
I would agree with that. The Masters, I took Scotty Scheffler. Did you guys take Scotty Scheffler?
I did.
PJ?
Cameron Young.
Do you have Cameron Young winning more than one major this year?
I do not. But it's like outside of the bit, I think it's a legit Masters pick. I don't know how you could actually argue that it's not.
He gave a great answer to you on the Lunch with the Boys, round 2, part 2.
Part 2.
What he said.
There's part 2 coming?
No, the part 1 was part 2 was teach
I thought there was another part.
No, that would be part 3 would be the next Lunch with the Boys.
Well, we have to get part 3 if we're going to get Rory someday. So,
okay.
Have you made any progress scheduling Lunch with the Boys with Rory?
No, how would I have made any progress on that?
Just ask him. I'm just wondering if you've been tracking him down.
So reach out to his representation. Reach out to PGA Tour comms. Do it through that. Be like, hello. We'd like to schedule Lunch with the Boys.
Send the clip and say, I'd like to schedule time with Rory.
As shown here, he has already agreed to it.
Pebble Beach. Can you just link us in?
We got to just figure out if Peach is coming out for Radio Row. I mean, if the Bears are in it.
If the Bears are in it, all bets are off.
I think you probably need to reserve your Radio Row spot like 10 weeks ago.
Really?
Right? I would guess that's not a thing you wait to see if the Bears are in. Maybe I'm wrong.
You're not wrong, but I have a feeling we could probably figure it out to some extent.
Okay.
Peach, I don't even know where to go to get a Radio Row spot.
You want to do this, Andy?
Why not? I mean, it's in San Francisco.
But what are you going to do?
I don't know. We'll find some interesting characters.
Okay. Love it. Who do we have winning the PGA Championship at Aronimink? Andy, go first.
I've got Scotty.
Oh, 2 for 2. Scotty. All right.
I think there's real. If he did this, also he'd have won 4 of the last 5.
Yeah. Quail, Royal Portrush. Yeah. Crazy.
That's the thing. If he wins the Masters, it'll be 3 of the last 4.
He'll just go. What if he has the even year deal? The Masters. He's gonna just win it every other year, right?
Not crazy.
Nope. PJ, who do you have at the PGA?
I mean, it's probably stupid, but I said Rory on Friday, so I feel like I have to stick with it.
Okay.
The Mink.
I have. Is that
Philly's got a long, cold winter ahead now that their team's been knocked out?
Yeah, they just got knocked out. The Sixers are better than expected.
Jalen Hurts could be the Jets quarterback, maybe.
No, thanks. I'm good.
Whoa.
I'm
All
good.
right. I mean, I'm not suggesting. It's just, who would you take Malik Willis over Jalen Hurts?
At price?
Well, yeah,
Absolutely.
of course. I meant just on the field.
Oh,
You just passed. You're like, no thanks.
no, but maybe.
It's a tougher choice than you thought.
I mean,
Okay.
Malik Willis might be the best quarterback in the NFC North right now.
What? Better than your guy? All right.
Guys,
He's
incredible.
working himself into a shoot right now.
Yeah, what are you
He's
talking about?
completely working himself into just taking shots at his own guy.
I'm in a dynasty fantasy football league. I picked up Malik Willis. I'm all in on Malik Willis.
It's a great pickup.
PJ might be scrambling to do that now.
He's going to be throwing to Bijan and Kyle Pitts. It's going to be great.
No way. You think?
They need a quarterback.
I hope they take our assistant GM. Speaking of, all right.
I have Bryson winning the PGA.
That
I
feels like the
debated
logical
Cantlay.
pick.
Quite frankly, Cantlay just some like soft, like it's wet and soft in May, and he just posts like 66, 65, whatever, and goes ham. Like he did at the Wilmington, whatever that was, BMW Championship. The guy loves the Philly area and just goes and it's just kind of slow and wet and rainy, and he just posts some numbers.
Yeah, he's got to win it like 22 under, 20 under.
Because it's still May. But I have Bryson as my pick. U.S. Open, we mentioned Rory on Friday. I did. Andy did too as well, I believe.
I got Rory in there. Slotted in.
PJ?
Big shot Bob.
Interesting.
Love that.
Grinder.
You got Cam Young. Who is your Aronimink pick?
Rory.
Bryson or Rory? Big shot Bob.
Yep.
There we go. And then the British Open at Royal Birkdale. I'll go first, I guess. I don't know if I've gone first yet. Story arc, narrative pick. Justin Rose wins at Royal Birkdale.
That'd be amazing.
I think he's still game. I think like he knows, like we talk about how much he takes care of himself. Obviously, at his age, it comes and goes in a little bit more dramatic ways. Like we saw last year, he was not very good, basically after the Masters until August. Played well at Troon 2 years ago. Loves Birkdale in that region, and I'm just gonna go with a story time pick. Justin Rose wins at Royal Birkdale. I think he's still got the game. Obviously, go ahead. Birkdale. Pete,
This is the most confident I am in any of these four. Scotty is winning this. Like, I'm willing. I might start betting it now because I feel like it's only going to go down.
So you have him.
I forgot. This is the constable.
You have him at Birkdale. Andy's got him at the first two majors. So we've got him for 3 of 4 between the three of us.
Do you think Fitz will be fighting fair crime with him? There?
I hope so.
Andy, who do you have for the Open?
I got Rahm.
Good pick.
Getting back in the winter. So I could say I feel like Rahm, if he doesn't get a major done this year, the conversation gets very loud about what he did to his career.
Yeah.
Is it not already pretty
it's kind
loud?
of already a little bit. I guess it's not loud, but it's certainly at room temperature.
I think where it gets the most loud is in his own head.
Gotcha.
That's possible.
I think it already rumbles around there based off his press conferences. But I think where, like, the worst, and I think this is probably some of what Rory went through on Sunday at the Masters. The worst thing to have to overcome if you're a competitive golfer is heaping self-doubt. And that's where the weight of these winless streaks or the years of going somewhere and not winning in Augusta's case, even though you've been in the mix, it gets so heavy that you self-combust.
I think that's
kind of like the Packers did this weekend.
That's a good finisher. I think it's pretty well established that he and his group, I don't know, we're expecting to be on live a long time. I think that now 2 years in, that this was where he would still be, and they thought it was going to come back together. I think that's like almost like on the written into the record at this point. And so here he is now. Brooks is left, and I saw he was on the subpar pod, and they asked him like who's like underrated, and he like kind of had to jump around. He's like, well, Joaquin Neiman still doesn't get enough of the, like, who's a guy we don't hear enough. He did David Puig, which is a good answer, but it like took him a while. Like, what's he thinking about? Like Ben Campbell or whatever that guy is, the range goats.
I think he was thinking about the Ironheads.
Yeah. So yeah, we haven't. It's going to be a long time. Spanish Open, I think in like October. He's just off since then.
Can I just throw a hypothetical? We talked about this earlier.
Please.
What if Brooks just gets immediately reinstated? Talk about an unhappy household that Rahm household would be.
I mean, Rob's on the record of like he drives by like TPC Scottsdale and like looks out the window like forlornly. Like didn't he vacation at like Amex and Kapalua and stuff like just because they love the schedule and those old events. I think he just misses playing a lot of that specific schedule, even if it's not the guys he's going against. I think there's some of that too. So, anyways, so you think he's going to press to sort of eliminate the self doubt, or to at least like head off what did you do with your career? You've gone now a couple more years.
Think about I mean, we're at a point where it's not inconceivable at this point. But think about if Jon Rahm signs the live deal, puts on a Letterman jacket, not so dissimilar to my Bears jacket that Jason Page brought from Amsterdam.
That's a sick Bears throwback Bears.
Puts on the Letterman jacket and literally never wins a major again. Is this player that we're wondering after the Masters in, 23? Like, could this guy get to 5, 6 majors? That doesn't seem possible. He never wins another major. That's just not happening. It doesn't, but every year that goes by, sure, we've seen this so much. Every year that goes by, it gets, I would say, almost exponentially more difficult. Because you start to doubt if you can do it.
I mean, you saw with Rory. I mean, God, we were probably talking about. I probably just said the same thing I said about Rahm. I said about Rory in, September 2014. Like, of course he's going to win like a major within the next year or two, and maybe one every year for the next 5, 6, 7 years. And think about what happened at the Olympics, too. Yeah, that was alarming.
That was bad.
Those are things that just eat you up inside. And the next time you're in there, that you think about it, even the PGA this year, he can't.
Well, he was going for broke to try and catch Scotty, but I think an illuminating quote from that was like, I haven't had this much fun on a golf course in a really long time. It really laid bare, like, I haven't been in a fight like this in a while, and it felt amazing. Like, I haven't been in the real rep, in the real ring.
Well, he's crossed the Rubicon.
Isn't that interesting? I mean, I think that's sort of admitting, right, Andy? Like that.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily getting the reps.
Well, that's the thing. You have to be in the mix. That's the thing. Golf is not a sport where you just show up and you win. It's any professional endeavor. I think that's the most misunderstood thing about professional sports in general, is like the amount of work that goes into being great.
Yeah.
Do you think the Ryder Cup thing plays into this year at all for him?
What if he's like
With that just
actually
weighing?
blocked? I don't
Yeah.
think no. I think he's like, talk to me when it's September 2027, and we'll figure it out. I don't think he's worried about that or thinking about it. Anyways, those are our major winners. I think it's gonna be a great majors year. I'm very excited. Very excited. We'll be at the Masters before you know it. Any players or P-Cup thoughts? Any other trends or predictions for the year, Andy? Any other thoughts?
I was going to ask about a bounce back player, maybe. You know, you the thought came into my mind after you picked Cantlay.
Yeah. That would probably be my first answer. Feels like he's been too good for too long to be like, to not have some sort of return or improvement based off of last year. Peach, do you have a potential bounce back guy? Spieth?
Does that even count?
That definitely counts.
I don't know if it really counts, because I would call the second half of last year or the last 5 months of last year a bounce back. I would say he half bounced back. I'm buying Fitzy stock going into this year.
Oh yeah, I have him big.
But he recovered pretty nicely after a terrible start to last year. So I don't know how big the bounce actually is.
I'll take Tony Finau.
Who?
I don't think we're at a Tony Finau's completely cooked stage.
He better bounce back. That was bad. He's irrelevant last year.
He was.
He's got to do a little better, I hope.
I think he's
96th in the world.
That's why I picked him. I caught my eye earlier today when I was scrolling around on that, and I was like, surprised nobody picked the gentleman at 97.
There's several options for bounce backs. Colin Morikawa, would it be a bounce back year for him if he won? He had a pretty good year last year, but obviously a lot of tumult and other issues too.
Especially if fans were there.
You still do have that take a lot. Can you win a full attended spectator event? There were only half there at St. George's?
Yeah.
And nothing at Hardy Park. Oh, that's good. All right. I think that does it for this Monday Monday episode.
Peach, it's Victory Monday. I forgot to say Victory Monday.
I know. Wow.
I think it's implied. I think people might know it's Victory Monday.
Can we get an early breakdown on Bears Rams? What do you think? What are the keys?
I mean, you got them outdoors, which I think is the biggest thing.
They look like 15 degrees.
Yeah, they looked sloppy. I mean, it was raining. It was not nice out, but they didn't look ready to play. I think
Stafford's got the finger issue.
You got to have Puka matched up on cornerbacks is the biggest thing. You can't get into a spot where the linebackers are covering Puka.
How does that even happen?
It was kind of illuminating when Puka was one-on-one with Mike Jackson, how Mike Jackson just took his lunch the entire game. But every time that Puka was in zone coverage or on a linebacker over the middle, he was suddenly wide open.
The good news is we can't play zone because we don't have the horses.
I'm afraid Sean McVay might have Kyler Gordon in the scope, just picking him off as the same as Jordan Love did. I'd be somewhat worried about
unfair.
that.
That was unfair. The guy came back from a groin injury.
So you're going to put him out there.
Well, they put him out there because McLeod couldn't play.
Rams did pretty well in that blizzard last year in Philly. I guess I would NFC. It would have been this round, right?
Yeah,
NFC
it was this did.
Semis essentially.
I'm pretty nervous about it. Not the matchup I want.
I would have preferred the Eagles matchup.
Philly.
Yeah.
Philly seems like kind of a mess, or was, I guess.
It's the Bears versus the NFC West. That's
what's left. I love it. All right, that does it for this Monday episode, Victory Monday episode of the Shotgun Start. We'll be back Wednesday with the real schedule for the week. We got an event. We got the Sony. Jordan Spieth's playing. The Needle. VJ Singh's playing. It's going to be a great week. We're excited to have golf back from Hawaii. We'll talk to you on Wednesday.
Never let it run. Never let it run. It's going to get better. It better get better.